The Milky Way holds more than 100 billion stars, a hush of light strewn across the dark like a slow, silver tide. Tonight, we will float along that tide, one gentle truth at a time, 100 calm facts to cradle your thoughts. Close your eyes if you like, or let your gaze follow the ribbon of stars as first speaks softly of cosmic rhythms, quiet distances, and the small, beautiful secrets that make our galaxy feel like home. Each fact is a small lantern, placed slowly along the path to sleep, meant to steady your breath and widen a sense of wonder without asking for anything but your calm attention. Stay with me, breathe with the cosmos, and let this slow journey through the Milky Way settle you. As the night unfolds and the universe whispers you toward rest. Gentle departure across starlit arms. The sun sits within a modest offshoot called the Orion Spur, a narrow bridge between larger features known as the Perseus and Sagittarius arms of our barred spiral galaxy. Stars are not sprinkled randomly there. They gather in sweeping bands where gas is compressed, and within those bands molecular clouds collapse to birth new suns. Examples like the Orion Nebula glow because their hydrogen gas has been ionized by nearby young, hot stars. Spiral arms act as density waves, traffic lanes in the galactic disk where dust and gas slow and pile up, and where star formation is prolific. You can see the effect in the contrast between bright H-second regions and the dark, opaque lanes of interstellar dust that silhouette them, which is why some swathes of the Milky Way look like a river of light cleaved by shadow. A departure across these arms feels like crossing a threshold of light and quiet. Long stretches of starlight drift by, punctuated by concentrated beacons, open clusters, nebulae, the bright blue-white of O and B stars. Each an example of how a single region can be both brilliantly alive and serenely still. The Orion Nebula offers one such tableau, a bloom of soft, diffuse emission, its violet edges and warm core a testament to the process of creation at work. Dust causes reddening and attenuation, so some stars shine through with a coppery warmth, while others seem distant and cool, their colors muted by intervening clouds. Slowly, as if exhales were galaxies, the arms unwind and fold, and the mind follows. There is a hush here that is almost practical, an instruction to slow the heartbeat, because the interstellar medium is thin and patient, and because photons traveling across these spans arrive softened. Visualize the soft gradients, the faint red of hydrogen emissions sweeping into cooler bands of reflected starlight, the dark silhouettes of pillars and filaments, like the Horsehead or Barnard formations, standing against veils of glow. Examples of contrast keep time. A compact cluster flares briefly, then quiets. A single H-second region hums like a distant lamp, and you move on. Pause, and let the rhythm settle. One can drift past the local landmarks, open clusters twinkling with youthful stars, while vast clouds of cold molecular hydrogen lie in shadow, waiting. The arms are neither walls nor corridors, but gentle suggestions in space, guiding where matter condenses and where light gathers, and that pattern translates into an almost tangible tenderness, a slow handing over from one luminous cradle to the next. Breathe out. The stars hold their distances. The dust keeps its secrets. All around, the galaxy reaches, and you, quietly, are carried along, drifting through nebulae and quiet stellar stories. Nebulae are vast clouds of gas and dust where ultraviolet light, gravity, and gentle turbulence converse, and in that conversation new stars are born. In the Orion Nebula, for example, pockets of glowing ionized hydrogen betray the work of hot young stars, and tiny protoplanetary disks, droplets, curl like sleeping snails around infant suns, visible as delicate silhouettes against a luminous backdrop. Some regions shine with the red of hydrogen alpha emission, while others take on a cool blue from starlight scattered by fine dust grains, the Pleiades Reflection Nebula offering that familiar sapphire hush. Dark lanes of dense dust, the Horsehead among them, cut the glow into shadowed lace, absorbing and reddening the light that tries to pass. Gravity, patient and unhurried, gathers material into filaments and knots. Within these, a protostar will begin its slow ignition, accretion disks whispering the future of planets. Jets sometimes pierce the surrounding gas, creating Herbig, Haro objects that glow where supersonic streams meet denser material, small shocks that add punctuation to the silence. Protoplanetary disks in Orion present concrete examples of where planets may be assembling, their gaps and spirals recorded by telescopes that read the faint millimeter glow of dust. The chemistry is plain and deep. Hydrogen dominates, helium follows, and trace elements such as oxygen, nitrogen, and sulfur leave spectral fingerprints that tell of temperature and motion. Massive stars, when they bloom, sculpt the nebulae around them with winds and intense ultraviolet light, and pillars of denser gas can be carved away until only a few tapering spires remain, shelters of cooler gas at their tips where new seeds may take hold. Photoevaporation peels material from disks and clouds alike, a slow wind erasing edges, and the edges themselves can become sites of triggered formation, little cradles coaxed into life by their harsh neighbors. When low-mass stars conclude their red giant shedding, they leave behind planetary nebulae, hollow shells of gas glowing with doubly ionized oxygen that often appears greenish in narrowband views, and rings and halos like breath on glass, as seen in familiar examples such as the Ring and Helix nebulae. A white dwarf sits at the center, hot and dense, a compact ember that will cool and fade over eons. Quiet stories are written in the long lives of small stars and the subtle cooling of stellar remnants. Red dwarfs, the most common stars, burn their hydrogen slowly and steadily, many of them placid lamps, although some surprise with magnetic flares that crack the calm. Brown dwarfs, cooler still, glow primarily in the infrared, somewhere between star and planet, moving through the galaxy as dim, solitary objects. White dwarfs whisper of past lives, cooling and shrinking in temperature and light, while neutron stars and black holes may remain invisible unless fed by infalling gas. Then they announce themselves with 10th rays and jets. The Milky Way holds these quiet actors in abundance. Their cumulative hush shapes the backdrop against which brighter, noisier events stand out like single bells in a sleeping city. Listen closely and you can read nebular tales in color and motion, red from hydrogen recombining, greenish hues from oxygen's forbidden lines, and blue from scattered starlight, each a sentence in a slow, cosmic prose. Spectra reveal velocities, turbulence, the presence of molecules such as carbon monoxide in cold clumps, and dust grains that coagulate into pebbles and then, perhaps, into worlds. Slowly, always slowly, light moves through these clouds, refracted and reddened, and the stories it carries, of birth, of gentle death, of quiet endurance, settle into the mind like a soft, persistent memory. As the last soft facts settle into the dark, the Milky Way exhales and our quiet passage comes to rest. We drifted through 100 calm truths, felt the slow pulse of starlight, watched dust become cradle and time fold into distance, and learned that the galaxy's hush is a lullaby as much as a map. You carried this journey with me, your breath, your pause, the way you listened, and that gentle attention is what turned facts into feeling. Whenever you close your eyes now, remember the slow turn of the arms, the warm scatter of ancient light, and how small, steady wonder can steady a night. If this quiet has stayed with you, come back and let it visit again. Subscribe to keep these slow voyages coming. Share this softness with someone who needs stillness, and return when you are ready for the next drift. Soon we'll float into glowing nebulae, linger in stellar nurseries, and edge toward the hush around sleeping giants. More gentle stories waiting in the dark. Sleep well, carry this calm with you, and meet me on the next silent road through the stars.